good morning. I greet you in the name of Jesus Christ and in the warm and loving spirit of Unity Church of Raleigh. In unity, we welcome all people and honor the God of your understanding. We bless all churches and spiritual groups throughout the world because we know we are all sons and daughters of the same loving Creator. So we welcome everyone. My name is Melanie. I'm your platform leader today. Our musicians are Greg and Susan, and our speaker is Sharri Gaines. Now, we always start our services with gratitude, and I am grateful for two things. First, spring has sprung. All the trees are blooming, the azaleas are popping, even my wildflower garden is blossoming. It is beautiful, especially now because spring is a time of rebirth and hope, and I can't think of a better time for that to happen than right now. Second reason, and the second thing I'm grateful for, is that we are live streaming today, and we're doing it with a very small handful of people that I am so grateful for. We have some UCR staff, a volunteer, and our speaker. And I'm so grateful for the love and commitment of these folks to our beautiful church. And of course, I'm grateful for y'all for tuning in. Now, in that spirit of hope and gratitude, we affirm the truth of this situation and all situations by affirming our statement of faith. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life and affairs, God the good. And with that energy of positivity and optimism and faith, we also pray for the planet. So we just get quiet for a moment, and we know that God is a love that has no end and a power that knows no bonds. God's healing power of divine life is restoring, healing, and revitalizing our world this very moment. We let go of fears and anxieties, and we affirm all are safe, healthy, and protected. We bless all who support us in maintaining vibrant health. We express divine life in all we think, say, and do. We bless our global family with radiant health, peace of mind, and abundant love. And now, some music.
Good morning, everybody. We pray for blessings. We pray for peace. Comfort for family, protection while we sleep. We pray for healing, for prosperity. We pray for your mighty hand to ease our suffering. And all the while, you hear each spoken need, yet love us way too much to give us lesser things. 'Cause what if your blessings come through raindrops? What if your healing comes through tears? What if 1,000 sleepless nights are what it takes to know you're near? And what if trials of this life are your mercies in disguise? We pray for wisdom, your voice to hear. And we cry in anger when we cannot feel you near. We doubt your goodness, we doubt your love, as if every promise from your word is not enough. And all the while, you hear each desperate desperate plea. Long that we'd have faith to believe. 'Cause what if your blessings come through raindrops? What if your healing comes through tears? And what if 1,000 sleepless nights are what it takes to know you're near? And what if trials of this life are your mercies in disguise? When friends betray us, when darkness seems to win, we know this is not our heart. Reminds us that this is not our home. It's not our home. 'Cause what if your blessings come through raindrops? What if your healing comes through tears? And what if 1,000 sleepless nights are what it takes to know you're near? What if my greatest disappointments or the aching of this life is the revealing of a greater thirst this world can't satisfy? And what if trials of this life, the rain, the storms, the hardest nights, are your mercies in disguise?
Mercies in disguise. I love that. Beautiful. Thank you, Greg. Now to introduce our speaker today. Sharri Gaines has been a student of metaphysics, spirituality, self-development, and holistic health for more than 30 years. She currently has a healing practice in Raleigh, North Carolina, located in Dancing Moon Books and Gifts. She's offering sessions combining Reiki, reflexology, and intuitive guidance. She is a certified yoga teacher, but most important of all, she is one of us. She was a student of Reverend Beverly Backover for many, many years. She considers Rev Bev to be one of the most important teachers, mentors, and friends she has ever encountered. You know, we think the same thing too. So Sharri, thanks for being with us today. Come on up.
Thank you, Melanie. It is a blessing to be here today, and Bev's shoes are kind of hard to fill, but I do want to share one quick thing that I shared with Melanie just before we got started this morning. In putting my talk together today, I was looking for a specific folder to transport it over here with me. It's kind of my favorite little folder. It's been around with me for a long time. It has beautiful artwork on it. And I had put a small sheaf of papers in it months ago, had labeled it my poetry. I write some poetry, and I thought, one day I'll look at it, maybe pull it together. So anyway, I thought, I'll grab that. So I grabbed the folder, pulled out the sheafs of poetry to empty the folder to put this in there, and what flew out, literally flew out, swirled around my head, landed right at my feet and opened, was the Celebration of Life service program that we did here with Beverly's picture smiling up at me. So Rev Bev, thank you for your blessings on me today and on this service. And that was just too wonderful, wasn't it? So anyway, I really am blessed to be here today. I'm honored to be asked to speak today in this very unusual and sometimes very scary time that we're going through right now in our world. And I welcome everyone that's watching us via live stream from the sheltered comfort of your home. Glad to be part of this Unity community as we come together to lift each other up, during this epic time and immerse ourselves in oneness. If ever there were a time, it is now. Why? Why this global viral pandemic? Why now? Why us? Well, only God really knows the answer to that. And if you've prayed for an answer and haven't received a burning bush, part the Red Sea, beyond a shadow of a doubt answer, maybe it's because, like any good teacher, God is allowing each one of us to discover that answer within and for ourselves, finding it nearly impossible to bypass the one thing that we most wish to avoid: fear. So for today, for the time we are here together, let's acknowledge that fear has made its way to the surface of our consciousness in one way or another, in one form or another. And rather than trying to eliminate fear or try to wrestle it back down into the basement of our awareness, let's look at doing the one thing fear would least expect of us. The thing we sometimes forget that we have, the God-given innate capacity to do: transmute and transcend it. Ending here in the Unity Church by our co-founder, Charles Fillmore. And faith, even as small as the grain of mustard seed, when cultivated and quickened in us, can move the mountainous fear in outer conditions to faith in the power of Christ within. If ever there were a time to reach for and receive the power, the presence, the love, and the protection of our omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent Father, Mother, God, that time is now. But before we look at the ways and means of doing this, and we are going to have a little experiential part at the end of my talk together, I'd like to share a little bit about why we're talking about faith as a way to combat the coronavirus. By now, we have all heard of the very real and very necessary physical practices to help stop the transmission of this microscopic pathogen: hand washing, social distancing, healthy and immune-boosting food and supplements, staying hydrated, getting the proper type of rest and exercise, relaxing. These practices, though, remind me of the old quote that most of us have heard in some form or another from the Middle East: "Trust in God, but tie your camel to the post." Thus, the physical practices are so necessary to begin to slow down and stop this virus. And then there's the importance of staying connected to family and friends, as we're doing today via live stream. Neighbors, that those you can help and that may need to help you, in order that we not allow social distancing to become social isolation. Honestly, I sense that this situation may end up bringing us closer than ever to one another. When something this big stops us in the tracks of our often automated, checklist-oriented daily routines, we are afforded the opportunity to slow way down, look around, look within, get beyond the layers of superficial connection that can sometimes become a way of life far too much of the time. And let's not overlook the one person you just may end up getting to know more deeply than ever: yourself. But I digress, hopefully in a useful way. Much of the talk around this pandemic is in the language of war. We will fight, we will combat, we will defeat the invisible enemy, we will stockpile our arsenal, and we will win. Now, please do not misunderstand me. I am in no way implying that we should not be putting all of our resources toward eradicating this virus and bringing quick and effective help to reduce the detrimental impact this is having on all levels of our existence. I bring this up only to shed light on how words and language affect us. And we here at Unity know this is a core principle in the study of our consciousness. as creating our reality. Words can evoke fear and trembling, or trust, safety, security, and hope. So I'm suggesting here today that we take the time to become aware of how we are speaking and thinking about this situation, and whether we are allowing the language of fear or faith to be uppermost in our hearts and minds. So what is faith? Well, one of the more oft-quoted passages from the Bible, from Paul in Hebrews 11:1, says that faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is a power. It is a substance. It is real. And deferring to my dear Rev Bev, who always used the dictionary for references before she gave us her beautiful wisdom, I too went to the dictionary where I found this definition of faith: a confident belief in the truth, value, or trustworthiness of a person, idea, or thing that does not rest on material evidence or the limitations of logic or intellect. And I also found a quote from someone named R.J. Campbell. I have no idea who that is, but he seemed pretty wise, that says, faith is our higher nature asserting itself and proving itself superior to our lower fear nature. It is our spiritual instinct making straight for its goal. I really like that one. And as I mentioned earlier, faith is the first power or faculty of mind and heart that we are to cultivate in our journey to fully embodying and expressing the inner Christ nature of each and every one of us. It was the first power that Jesus named when choosing his disciples. And we recall that Simon, who became Peter, was the embodiment of that power during Jesus' ministry here on earth. We also recall that his name was changed from Simon, which means to hear, to understand, and to obey, to Peter, which means solid rock. When he came into the inner realization of the Christ of Jesus, that is when Peter moved from hearing and understanding with his intellect to the rock-solid knowing the truth through the faculty of faith within him. This is the journey from head to heart, from outer to inner, from appearance nature to truth. Can there be a more potent time for humanity to make this journey? As we face the outer appearance of a great and terrible viral pandemic? Is it not rather, as Greg sang about, a golden opportunity to strengthen the substance of faith in the power of God through Christ within, to create a time of great and wonderful overcoming, of great and glorious demonstration of the rapidly spreading viral nature of faith? Let us claim this as the solid rock upon which we build and live our lives now. So how do we bring this faith faculty forward into ourselves and into our world? After all, it sounds good, it sounds true, it sounds right. But first, we want to look at a few ways to actually embody this faith as substance. And here in Unity, we understand, as I said a little earlier, the power of words, the power of words. And by speaking the word of faith into the innermost reaches of our heart, mind, and body, let us now affirm, I am strong in my faith. I am being lifted out of fear and doubt. I am secure in the protective love and power of God. I'm going to say that 2 more times. If you're at home listening, just close your eyes and take that in, feel it, and know it's truth. I am strong in my faith. I am being lifted out of fear and doubt. I am secure in the protective love and power of God. Breathe. Breathe and feel those words as I speak them one more time. Let them penetrate into the very core of your being. I am strong in my faith. I am being lifted out of fear and doubt. I am secure in the protective love and power of God. And so it is. Now, I have one more practice for us before I wrap up today. And I took this from the 12-Power Meditation Technique for Faith, as described in the 12 Powers of Man by Charles Fillmore. This is designed to quicken or spiritualize the faculty of faith in us, which Mr. Fillmore states has its physical location right in the center of our head. And if you prefer, think of it right in the center of the brain. And he associates our pineal gland with the physical repository of faith within our being, our body. And the color associated with faith is blue. So sitting quietly where you are, taking a few slow, deep breaths, relaxing your body. We begin by placing our attention at the crown of our head, which represents the Christ center. And we say silently or softly to ourselves, "The Christ of God is quickened in me. The Christ of God is quickened in me. The Christ of God is quickened in me." Feel that power. Feel that Christ nature at the crown of your head. Now we're going to move our attention to the forehead, which represents our conscious level of mind. And we affirm, "I am aware that the Christ of God is quickened in me. I am aware that the Christ of God is quickened in me. I am aware that the Christ of God is quickened in me." And take a breath. Let that settle into your being. And now we're going to move our attention down here to our solar plexus, which represents the subconscious part of ourself. It also represents our feeling and emotional nature, which we need to make a part of this today and every day. And we affirm that I am grateful that the Christ of God is being quickened in me. I am grateful that the Christ of God is being quickened in me. I am grateful that the Christ of God is quickened in me, here and now. And now we bring our attention to the center of our head, to the center of the brain, the faith center. And we declare, "The Christ in me calls forth Peter, the disciple faculty, the solid rock of faith, my faculty of faith. The Christ in me calls forth Peter, the solid rock of my faith, my faculty of faith. The Christ in me calls forth Peter, my disciple faculty of faith, the solid rock of faith in me." And as you do this, you may hear Jesus speaking these words to your heart. "According to your faith, let it be done unto you." Now just take a couple of moments in the silence, allowing the presence and power of God in you to magnify the quality and expression of faith in every cell of your being, in every thought of your mind, in every feeling in your heart. And as we go forth in our lives today and onward, let us go in complete trust and faith in the power, the presence, the love, and the protection of God in us and in our world, to transmute and transcend all fear into faith through the holy Christ of our being. And may this faith spread quickly into all corners of our world for the healing of all beings and to the glory of God. So be it, and so it is. Amen and amen. Om Shanti and Namaste. In the immortal words of Tiny Tim, God bless us, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. And so now all of us let our colors shine, because we are all fireworks. Plastic bag drifting through the world, due to start again? Do you ever feel so paper thin, like a house of cards, one blow from caving in? Do you ever feel already buried deep, 6 feet under seams, but no one seems to hear a thing? Do you know that there's still a chance for you, 'cause there's a spark in you? You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just all night, like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're a firework. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Make 'em go, oh, 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 as you shoot across the sky. Space, your original cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds, after a hurricane comes a rainbow. Maybe the reason why all the doors are closed, so you could open one that leads you to the perfect road. Like a lightning bolt, your heart will glow, and when it's time you'll know. You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine. Just overnight, like the 4th let your colors burst. Make 'em go, ah, ah, ah. You're gonna leave 'em all in awe, awe, awe. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the moon, moon, moon.
Susan, we loved it. That was wonderful. Greg and Susan, thank you so much for the awesome music today. Sherry, what a wonderful message on viral faith. Thank you for incorporating some meditative moments in there. It was marvelous. We loved it. Thank you for joining us today. If you liked what you heard, we are going to have a short Zoom conversation after the service. The call-in information will be on your screen, and you can talk a little bit more with Sherry about activating your viral faith. I think it's going to be great. This is now also a good time to make a love offering to the church. You know, Unity Church of Raleigh is totally self-supporting, and we count on your love offerings and gifts. That's just the way Unity is. That's how we do things. And so you can scroll to the bottom of the screen and click the donate button. Also at the bottom of the screen is the mailing address if you'd like to send in a check. So thank you in advance for doing that. You are wonderful, and we just appreciate you. Now, a couple of things. If you need prayer support, at the bottom of your screen, there is a prayer button. You can click on that, and you will be connected via email to the prayer ministry and the prayer chaplains. Under the Beliefs tab at the bottom, you can find the phone number for Silent Unity, which is our 24/7 prayer ministry. That, too, is just beautiful. And we are going to be back again next week at 10:30, March 29th, for another service. This service will be online all week long as a recording. So if your friends and family didn't get a chance to see it, be sure to tell them to check it out and then join us next Sunday. So thank you so much for being with us today. And we'd like to remind you, no matter what is happening to us or through us, there's the invitation to think on whatever is good and kind, noble and loving, peaceful and prospering, and happy and healthy. Letting our light shine in this great, big, beautiful world, knowing that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so now, the prayer for the planet.
Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me. Yes, there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be with God as Creator. United all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me. Yes, this is the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in perfect harmony. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Namaste.